the lost sun, moon, and stars. When the rainy season comes, there are days without sunlight, nights without moonlight or starlight. Ask old Hawaiians why this is so, and they will tell you. Once, long ago, when chiefs were nearly as powerful as the gods, a district was ruled by a chief known as Kahua the Cruel. From morning until night, his overseers drove the people. Take out the canoes, the chief must have fresh fish. Take out your digging sticks to the taro fields, the chief must have fresh poi. Take your axes to the forest, the chief must have a koa log for another war canoe. Day after day, so it went. In that district lived a young man whose name was Kana. One day, as he and his younger brother Nehua helped to haul a canoe log, an overseer began beating an old man. Nehua struck the overseer, who fell dead. The boys knew that Nehua would be killed if caught, and ran up the mountain trail to the home of their grandmother, Uli of the Uplands. Before they reached her door, sun was blotted out and thick gray clouds filled the sky. There was no need to tell Uli what happened. She knew, for she was the goddess of sorcery. Chief Kahua has already heard of your deed, she said. He has decided to punish our people by taking away the sun, moon, and stars. He knows we cannot live without them. Nehua knew that he must give himself up. But Kana said, if we bring back the sun, moon, and stars, our people will be saved, and your life as well. Uli spoke. It will not be easy to find where Chief Kahua has hidden them, for he lives in the place of darkness, but there is one who may be able to help you. My sister, woman who walks in darkness. Where can we find her? Asked Nehua. Uli spoke again. Your journey towards the place where the sun has always risen. The slanting rain will fall upon you, and the cold wind will pierce your bones. Keep going. At the black cliff jutting out into the sea, you will find my sister's home. Shall we take our weapons? Asked Kana. Have you forgotten the magic gift I once gave you? Uli answered. It is Kapua power, greater than any weapon. Use it when the time comes. Now hurry, before all the light is gone. Kana and Nehua set out. Slanting rain fell upon them, and the cold wind pierced their bones. But they kept on. Nehua's teeth began to clatter, and his body began to shake with chill. At last he said, You must go on without me, Kana. Kana covered his brother in a large cape, and left him resting beneath a tree. Then he stumbled on through the growing darkness until he saw in the distance the black cliff. At the foot of it is a small, fire-burned hut. There he found a blind woman sitting by the fire. Aloha, woman who walks alone in darkness. It is Kana, grandson of Uli of the Uplands. We seek your help. The old woman turned towards the sound of his voice. Welcome, Kana, son of Uli. What is it you seek? Kana told her. Can you tell me where to look for the lost sun, moon, and stars? Woman who walks in darkness said, I can indeed. Chief Kahua lives at the top of this high cliff. In the cliff is a tunnel where the sun goes to rest each evening, and the moon every morning. In this tunnel, Kahua stores his treasure and keeps his servants imprisoned. That's where he has trapped the sun, moon, and stars. It is said that there is a great white stone at the mouth of the tunnel. I shall find it, said Kana. You will never reach the place, Kana. The trail is closely guarded. I will not go up by the trail, said Kana. I have magic power from Ulu to help me go up the cliff. Will you lead me to a spot beneath the chief's house? Woman who walks in darkness wasted no time. She rubbed her finger across his arm. Your skin, is it light? Yes, said Kana. We must darken it then some, or you will be discovered. Chief Kahua's men have dark skin. She took charcoal from the fire and ground it into powder. She crushed a candle nut until its oil ran out. Then she made a paste out of the two, which Kana spread on his skin. Now we shall go. Take a hold of my pau, she said. Grasping a hold of her pau, Kana followed as she walked silently along the narrow strip of sand beneath cliff and sea. Not a gleam of moonlight, not a glimmer of starlight broke the blackness. At his right hand, Kana could hear the sea lapping at the shore. With his left hand, he could feel the rough walls of the cliff. When they had gone some distance, "Woman who walks in darkness, stop. The house is above us," she whispered. "Now I will use my magic power," said Kana. He stretched himself, growing taller and thinner. He stretched more and more, up, 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 until he was tall enough to step out upon the rocky ledge. Ahead he saw the chief's house, lighted by burning torches at the entrance. From inside came the sound of laughter and Chief Kahoa's boastful voice. Kana shrank back to his normal size. He crept through the darkness, closer to the house. Beyond it he saw a faint blur of light and moved towards it. Just as he was close enough to see that it was a white stone, the chief came through his doorway. Kana stood frozen at the side of the path, glad of his darkened skin. Chief Kahoa strode past, close enough to touch, and knelt before the great white stone. Then he raised it slowly and called into the opening beneath, "Food!" A steaming calabash appeared. He took it and shouted, "I shall be back for more. Make ready." Replacing the stone, he took the calabash of food back to his house. Kana had stretched himself thin as a spiderweb and had little strength left. He needed food. Silently he crept to the stone and lifted, and moved a little, gleaming light, and fell back into place. Gathering all of his remaining strength, Kana pulled at the stone. Slowly he lifted it to one side, holding it with one hand as he reached into the opening with the other. A calabash of steamed food was handed to him. He slid the stone into place and ate quickly, feeling strength flowing into his body. Footsteps sounded. Kana stepped back into the darkness, holding the empty calabash. Chief Kahoa strode past again as he lifted the stone. Again his command rang out, "My drinking gourd with the water of life." When this appeared, he took it and shouted, "I shall be back for my treasures. Make ready." Kahoa placed the stone and carried the water to the house. Kana remembered his grandmother telling of this water of life. Drinking it would cure any illness and protect one from death. He must drink and carry some to Nehua. Then both would be safe from the chief's anger. Kana set the stone aside and reached down his empty calabash. He called down in a gruff voice much like the chief's as he could make it. More of the water of life filled the calabash. For a moment nothing happened. Then he heard water gurgling into the calabash. He gulped several mouthfuls and set the bowl in a safe place.